it's been a crazy week for me. I don't know about you guys. Just wanted to get together and see how you guys are doing, how you guys are managing all this craziness. So yeah, just checking up on you guys.
Yeah, it has been a crazy week. Like now we're doing podcasts through Zoom, right? So bamboo podcast, quarantine version, right? And I guess it's been a crazy week. I don't know. Like I just don't know how to feel sometimes because we're kind of stuck at home and you hear the crazy news, but then you also hear the people that, everything's gonna be fine, right? And so I've just been kind of trying to like navigate how to feel about those things. Yeah, but that's kind of me.
Yeah, I think the week has changed so much within 1 week, and every day is so fluid where it changes so much, and so I'm not quite sure how to take it day to day. I think one thing is it is tougher. I'm not, and it's say by all means I'm not complaining about working from home, but
Yeah.
but that to say that really to say like it is tougher than being home all day and working from home because there's no outlet for you to vent or just process things or just to clear your thoughts. And so what I've been doing every day is in the middle of the day I'll go and just run for 30 minutes or something and then come back. One of the evenings what I did was I just went for a drive. I went for a cruise because I needed to clear my thoughts. And so just kind of finding some healthy outlets to kind of clear my thoughts mentally. But it has been tougher. Not complaining here, but just saying, being introverted, more introversion. I do value the time that I get to be alone, but I do realize that we are more social than we think we are, and I've found myself learning to text and connect with people a lot more while I'm staying home. So yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad you feel that way because, like, I was telling my wife, for us extroverted people, I was saying, dang, like, I feel like you spend your whole life preparing for this quarantine, right? But it's good that you introverted people also feel the same way. I find myself feeling really sluggish. Even though I get to wake up a little later and I don't have to go through the whole driving and all that, but I just think it's because I get drained a little when I'm not around people.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
But it's
what
also
you done?
Yeah.
For me, it's so I'm still going to work. Nothing's really changed yet, but it's weird because the work environment isn't the same. If you guys know what I mean, like you can sense like the tension there and like how everyone's on their toes. Anyone sneezes or cough, and it just raises like everyone's like awareness, right? Where people are just looking at you if you cough differently. So you don't even feel like a regular day at work. It's almost like going there and you're just trying to get through the day and then come back home. I almost rather just be quarantined at home and not have to go to work and wait till all this is done because it's weird. It's just weird. People that used to say hi to you in the hallways, now when they walk by, they keep their distance and people don't even look at each other anymore. So it's kind of weird, you know. So
you guys sit pretty close to each other, or
no? We don't. The good thing about my area is that I'm literally like at least 10, 15 feet away from the next guy.
Yeah.
But it still doesn't mean that like you're safe because you don't know what the shifts before you did.
Oh yeah, because are they on the same machines as you then, or yeah. Got it.
So yeah, it's been weird, and I'm having a hard time like processing all this because I don't know when all this is gonna end.
Yeah, how does it look like for you this coming week?
For me, this coming week, so like I was telling Apple, obviously there's gossips and there's like rumors and fake news at work about like the company's thinking about like shutting down too, like for a week or two. Mm-hmm. So like no one really knows what's going on, like, and you see a lot more actions in terms of like denial, like the management has been doing a lot more, and so they're up to something. It's just they haven't given us any info.
Yeah.
So we're kind of in the dark right now. Just thinking, I'm thinking we're gonna go to work again. I mean, we're gonna continue working, but I don't know if we might just show up on Monday and they might just say, hey, everyone go home. Who knows? No one knows.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, like the news, have been showing a lot of, going back to like, the nature of this bamboo ceiling podcast, like have been showing a lot of like, I haven't heard this, but I've heard it from you, the Kung flu and the Chinese virus. Just thoughts around like, xenophobia that is happening around, America, whatnot. Just your guys' thoughts.
Yeah, Doug. What was your view? What was the whole thing about the Kung flu again, Doug?
So with the term Kung flu, somebody from Trump's cabinet like referred to the coronavirus as the Kung flu because it's obviously like one of the flus. And when I first heard it, I thought it was actually pretty clever, funny. Not thinking of all the harm that it's gonna do to like the Asian population here.
Yeah.
But I think that all like came from in the whole thing with like Trump. With China claiming that like Americans brought the flu to the coronavirus to China, and so I think that was just kind of Trump's way of like pointing back the finger, saying that calling it the Wuhan or the Chinese flu.
Yeah, I know. Like, so the kung fu thing, I think. Kung flu thing, I think like if you're gonna make fun of races and or ethnicities and stuff, or if you're gonna try to like be racist or whatever, right? Be funny or be factual, right? And right. So be clever. I thought it was okay, whatever. Kung flu, whatever. I just think like, but I was kind of when I saw the headline, was it where like they caught one of the guys saying it, or did he like was he trying to make a joke about it, or I don't remember. Like, do you know that?
No, I don't. I didn't follow up on that. So like, yeah. I know it was written like a reporter reported it, and so obviously they must have heard it to report it.
Yeah, but I feel like if it was like someone like a comedian using that, that'd be funny. Like I thought it was clever or funny, right? But the whole Chinese flu thing. Dude, like to be honest, I just feel like that's our president. He's like that, where he wants to play that pointing the finger game, and like the whole idea of he wants to be factual, and it's being factual and all is important, but people's lives are at hand. People are dying, and I just feel as a leader. Maybe our president should have showed some more empathy. But that's Trump being Trump. I guess I shouldn't say it that way because I might show my true colors that I lean a little bit left, but that's how I feel about
leftist.
Trump. So.
You're a leftist. Nah, man, like I think I'm kind of along the lines of Abel, what you're saying. Like, I think he's being a politician and not a leader in this time. I think it overlooks, the implications of how that can affect, the Asian population here in America, with pointing the finger. If you don't know the context of it, right? Like if you don't know that Trump is like trying to point the finger back because China's pointing the finger that it started here. I think you would get all flustered in that. But when you understand more of the context, it's a little kid's game. And I think if you are mature about it, it's like, hey, how do you navigate this in a more mature way? And so, I think Trump is playing a little kid's game, and not being a leader at the moment. So that's kind of just my thought and view on that, But I also know that, like, with a lot of like you do see a lot of like how they say xenophobia, or like the just kind of like the racism that still is happening in America. Like you see some kind of violent and aggressive acts that have happened towards Asians because of the I think the fear around coronavirus. And so that I think that's what's happening. I think he does need to show a little bit more empathy, in my opinion. As a leader, you need that sometimes so that people can relate to you for sure, and you can relate to others.
You know, and with all that's going on, as far as like a lot of the hatred that a lot of Asians are receiving, we gotta be careful too, right? Because I personally haven't faced anything. I don't know if you guys have, because the media is really doing what it's doing too. Like if they keep showing just the 3-4 cases that happen, I mean, you got to remember. I mean, so all this whole time, every other race people that I meet, it has been decent, you know.
Yeah.
No one's giving me the look. No one's said anything offensive to me.
Yeah, let me ask you this. Like, so the Sacramento Bee, I posted this on my Facebook. The Sacramento Bee posted on their Twitter, right, a map of Sacramento. So a map of Sacramento, and it posted where all the Asians lived in Sacramento. And so I had big old dots of like where Asians lived in Sacramento. Just your initial thoughts. So this was posted this Wednesday, during, you know, a time like this. What are you guys' initial thoughts?
Man, I thought it was dangerous at first, you know, pointing out where all these small Asian houses are at, and kind of letting like the rest of the population know where they're at. I mean, maybe they're doing it. I thought maybe they were doing it to let people know where Asians are at, so they can avoid going there and contracting the disease or virus. But it might. I don't know. Who knows? You know, I really don't know what to think of that.
Yeah, my first thought is, man, get out of here. They're a freaking media outlet. They know exactly what they're doing. I feel like they're just trying to get reaction because they know the situation with all the xenophobia, right? So you get the reaction from the Asians, then you get the reaction from the people that actually are crazy and feel that way, you know? And my whole thing is, like, if that's the kind of outlet that you want to be, fine, right? So be it. But don't give me the bullcrap of saying, oh, we're just trying to show the results from the census or anything like that, right? Like, if you're gonna get backlash, then take responsibility for that. But that's ridiculous. I was like, get that stuff out of here. Like, whatever.
I think my thing is like, do I guess the people that approved of it and sent it, or maybe didn't approve and someone just sent it out there, do they have no awareness at all? Like, you know what I mean? Like, some people really have no awareness, and I'm like, okay, I give them a benefit of doubt, and it is a census season. My thought is like, I give them a benefit of doubt. But it's like, I think my initial thought too was like, I've never seen a demographics map posted ever in my life in a newspaper, and I grew up reading newspaper at school every day, and I'm like, this is the first time I've ever seen a demographics map from a newspaper, you know, and it's posted on Twitter. But I'm like, did I always miss the demographics paper or page in the paper? And I'm like, but if the Asian demographic is being posted, where are all the other demographics? Did they just cut out all the other pages? You know? And so my thing is like, is there more of a manipulative or like a different agenda or motive around this? Because I'm just kind of like, I don't know, man. It's very skeptical. And so,
like, I think that would be the only reason, right, that it got on. If there was someone that had no awareness and was that ignorant and worked for the newspaper or a website or whatever media outlet, and they allowed that to get out there. But like, I give them the benefit of the doubt where I'm like, that okay, nowadays that doesn't happen, which I could be naive, you know, which probably it does happen. And that's why I was like, you know, I think it's just freaking ridiculous that they want to get reaction, right? But you know, we meet crazy people, ignorant people all day, you know, and I guess, what have you guys been doing to like prepare yourselves? Have you prepared yourselves to, in case you do meet someone ignorant and, you know, they hate on you because you're Asian and they're scared or whatever?
Yeah, I you know, definitely, because you know, given all this chaos that's going on, so my wife's been doing a lot of shopping because so she's been going out and I've been going with her too, and so I've been preparing myself for like the moment when something like that does happen to me, how I'm gonna react. And I played out all these scenarios in my head, and obviously, I think the most important one for me is just walking away, man. Like I don't think nothing good is gonna come out of it.
Yeah.
Just walking away, unless they physically assault me or something like that. But if someone just makes a remark, the best thing to do is just walk away. You don't want to get into like a shouting match with them.
Yeah.
How about you guys?
I think for me, I'm never one to resort to violence, but I'm not one to confront and be, respectful in a confrontational way, or be confrontational in a respectful way. And so I would honestly just, I definitely know that I would be able to maintain my and control my feelings and emotions, but be able to like stand my ground too. I'm not gonna let that slide, but I'm gonna confront you about it and let you know that you're out of pocket, like you're out of order, bro. Like you're really out of order. But I'll, and in a way, just just dig into them and ask questions so that they may understand their own ignorance in this. And so that's always been my approach as I've grown comfortable in just my identity and who I am. What about you, Abel?
At least be witty about it, right? And not just go blackout mode where you start tripping. And I feel the same way. I just don't want to give them that power, like to allow them to make me mad, right? Because once you're mad and you give them that power over you,
of course.
So I just don't want to give them that. So like at least be witty about it, So that's kind of like I'm preparing myself for that. But I feel my experiences out there has been okay, like there hasn't really been this. I didn't really get the stares or anything like that. It's been kind of surreal because like when we went to Sam's the other day, there was a ton of people, but it was like hecka quiet. Like no one was really talking. Everyone's just kind of in like this panic mode, trying to get their stuff for their family. So it's just been kind of weird.
I feel that too. I think when I've been going shopping, it's literally been like hey, go in, get what you need, and leave. Which is very beneficial for us, because otherwise, for the ones that are married, like you know how long these women take, and it's surprising. My wife has cut down her shopping time by the great amount, so which is good. And all, there's some light to this tunnel.
Yes. Well, speaking of good news, I was reading and there was a bunch of like 10 things that the news isn't showing that's positive about the coronavirus. And I was reading and there was a couple that was kind of pretty interesting. Like one of them was China has already been closing down their pop-up hospitals, right? Because there isn't enough new patients to support them having those hospitals. So that was a good thing. Like another one is, so like, I think one of the facts that when I was reading that kind of disturbed me was how many people was dying in Italy, right? Because they went from like 1 week, there was only like a couple cases with like one death to like now there's over thousands of deaths. And I was just like, dang, like that's crazy. But I was reading in this article that it's because in Europe, they're one of the oldest populations.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, that makes sense, right? That makes sense. And then like a third one that I wanted to share with us was that they're preparing vaccines already, and they're getting close to having a vaccine, and then they're starting to test them already. So I just thought, those are some positive things. And they're just kind of just to throw those out there, right? That it's not all doom,
not all bad.
It's not all bad.
Yeah, I think for me, man, like I, even though it's a crappy situation, and people are dying, so I'm not gonna like overlook that because that's crappy in general. Just even one person, I think for me, it's like, how do I make the best of this situation? And it's like, I have a lot more time at home. I could spend more time with my family. I could spend more time reading books. I'm behind, my books goal for the year. And just being able to like make the most of this, even though it is crappy. And it's like life doesn't end yet and I still gotta live. And how do I make the best of me in this? And so for me it's like, yeah, it is crappy. I the news do surround you with fear and being anxious and with like titles that just try to grab your attention, but it's like I still gotta live. How do I make the most out of this situation, and how do I be a support or encouragement to others in the situation that aren't as privileged in a place where I'm at? And so yeah.
Given all that's going on right now, I feel like we're gonna start seeing like the worst of the worst and also the best of the best, right? People are going to start showing the best sides and the worst sides. So a good story that plenty of them actually that like I've been seeing. Unfortunately I don't have the information or the names of the people to quote it right now, but there are a lot of like Asian restaurants that are actually providing meals for the school age kids who aren't going to school, and they rely solely on that school lunch. And they're preparing meals for free. Yesterday I came across this article about Bone Locksmith dude. I think they're in Brooklyn Park. If anyone knows who he is, they can shout him out. I unfortunately I don't forgot his name, but he's teaming up with that Thai restaurant. I want to say it's the one close to Gongneung on towards that direction over there. And they're teaming up to make like fried rice and stuff like that to feed like 400 or 500 people a day, which I thought was a good thing. So amidst all this chaos, a lot of good things are coming through. People are showing some good stuff.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, so it's not all bad news, right?
Yeah, it's not all bad news. People are showing some good signs.
Yeah. So so here at the Bamboo Podcast, Bamboo Ceiling Podcast, we just wanted to check in with everyone and check in with ourselves, and just to throw some positive vibes out there. So let's continue to just care for each other, right, and stay focused. And I just feel like there's not really that much we can do as far as the virus itself. And all we can do is stay positive, right? Keep on using our voices to encourage each other, keep on using our voices to get the right facts out there. And then all we can do really is to weather the storm, and hopefully we learn from this and we can be more prepared in the future. Yeah. But so that's all we got for you guys. If you like the content, feel free to comment, subscribe, let us know what other topics you guys would like to hear about, you guys would like us to talk about, as we continue to just fill out this podcast game. Let us know. We're going to be doing this quarantine style for a little bit, so we would love the interaction.
Hey, if you enjoyed this episode of the Bamboo Ceiling, we'd love for you to subscribe, rate, and give us a review on iTunes. You can also follow us on Facebook and Instagram at #TheBambooCeiling. Until next time, use your voice.